Welcome to another episode of Tamra Simon's Live in the Real Estate Power Chat. Today we have Stefani Boyd, and she's going to give us the story from single mom to CEO of a mortgage corporation that helps real estate agents. But as you know, first things first.
This is Tamra Simon's Live, where real estate agents from around the globe come together to grow, collaborate, and expand their business. Where we take our inspiring conversations and put them together to create dynamic connections. This is the Real Estate Power Chat.
Welcome, Stefani. Thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Hi, Tamra. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know, since you're new to me and you're new to the audience, how about you just give us a little briefing as to who Stefani is?
All right. Well, I always start my story with the fact that I became a teenage mom when I was 16. Had a lot of doubters at that time. And so I realized that the only way up from there was through education. So I graduated high school 2 years early and went over to my local community college, got a degree in criminal justice, and shortly became the youngest criminal investigator in my county. So I worked for the public defender's office for a few years, investigating felonies and major crimes. And after about 5 years, I decided to go ahead and join my family's real estate company. So I got my real estate license in 2000. Through the ups and downs of the real estate market, I've done a few other things here and there in between. After the 2008 crash, several loan officers in my office went ahead and we got our massage licenses because we thought that was much less stressful than the real estate market at that time. And in about 2015, I went back and got my updated real estate license. And then by then there was the NMLS license had been created. So I went ahead and got that license about 4 years ago now and passed my broker's test, opened up my own brokerage, and started my own company where I do love helping real estate agents get their buyers into the best loan possible. And I love working with first-time buyers and helping that dream come true.
So that's awesome. What a driven lady you are.
Panic drives success, I think. I think a lot of self-employed entrepreneurs can feel me there with the uncertainty, and you just have to get up and try something every single day. So that's what
led you to criminal justice? I mean, that's a pretty intense field.
Yeah, actually a funny thing, I remember as an argumentative teenager, my dad told me I would make a great lawyer and I should go into practicing law because I love to argue so much. And so I decided to start taking criminal justice classes. And at that time, the focus is towards law enforcement. But as I went through the program and went out and started applying at some sheriff's departments in my state, I quickly realized that law enforcement was not for me, but I really did enjoy the idea of investigations. And I went and tested for the job of investigator and tested really high. I was right out of college and everything was fresh in my brain. So I just beat out all of these crusty old detectives from the police department who wanted a nice, cushy investigator job. And I just really ended up loving it, making some great connections with the lawyers. And I love the idea of protecting people and protecting their rights. And, everyone's got a right to be assumed innocent until proven guilty. So that was my focus at the public defender's office, was just making sure that both sides of the stories got told. And so a lot of those skills I learned there have translated over nicely into real estate. I did a lot of door knocking back then as an investigator, looking for witnesses, serving subpoenas. So once in a while I go out door knocking with the real estate agent and, you know, pass out flyers and all that good prep work at the public defender really got me ready to interface with the public.
I would dare to bet so. I mean, because door knocking is like the last thing a lot of agents even want to do. So someone that was used to that had to kind of come natural to switching from criminal justice knocking on doors to real estate knocking on doors.
It really did, because, you know, the focus as an investigator was, I'm here to help your friend, family member, or I'm here to help, you know, present the both sides of the truth. And so in mortgages and real estates, we're here to help people, whether they're buying, selling, relocating, downsizing. So yeah, it's just that service oriented outlook that makes it possible.
That's cool. I am so impressed. Now you have your own company. What's the name of your company?
New Valley Home Services. And I am a mortgage lender. So I directly broker with, we're approved with over 100 lenders. And so we've got all products for first-time buyers, investors, down payment assistance, you name it. One of my many wholesale lenders has it.
Wonderful. And you're located in Sacramento, correct?
That's correct.
Nice. So how is the market doing out there?
Oh, it's a bare knuckle ride these days. You know, I've unfortunately seen many young buyers just get progressively priced out of the market over the past year. The COVID rates were great, but now we're paying the price for all of that free money and everything. And so, yeah, the market is definitely cooling down here. Sellers are starting to make some concessions, paying closing costs, price reductions. And even still, you know, I've got a scenario priced out that I was looking at a year ago. And unfortunately, these first-time buyers were out competed by cash offers that were $100,000 over the asking price. But a year ago, with a $650,000 purchase, their payment would have been about $3,600, and I just priced it at today's rates, and it's about $4,700. So just for this one house, you'll be paying $1,100 more a month now versus last year. So it's getting a little bit grim for the first-time buyers, for sure.
Yeah. And that's happening here as well. But I think that's something, you know, buyers are on the fence. What do you tell home buyers now that, you know, are not quite wanting to leap out and jump into that home buying field? What's your advice for them now?
Well, there's a lot of realtors and lenders throwing around this phrase, date the rate, marry the house. So the prevailing mindset is that rates will come down and you'll be able to refinance. I hesitate to make predictions like that just because we never know what happens. But historically, the prices in the market ebb and flow. And one thing I know for sure, 100% to be true, is that if you're renting, you're building your landlord's equity. And so either way, if you invest in your own home, you're building your future for your own family, your own wealth, your own equity, and you're not putting your landlord's kids through college. So, you know, over the past few years, it was really easy to show people how they could actually buy a house for less than they're paying in rent. And in my market, rents and prices are just, they're coming, the mortgage or the purchase prices are coming down, the rent prices are going up as all those investors buy the house. So, you know, I just really encourage everybody to take a look at their finances, and anytime you can get into the real estate market as an owner rather than a renter is beneficial to your future. So I just encourage everybody to have a look and sit down and see if it makes sense for them.
Absolutely. I have never seen any reason to rent if you could possibly buy.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
I also noticed that you work with VA home buyers?
Yes, I do. I love my veterans. In fact, my son is active duty in the Air Force right now. So I have a particular soft spot in my heart for helping veterans get into their house. And the VA is a wonderful program that offers 100% financing, no mortgage insurance. And recently they eliminated their loan limits. So I've seen veterans being able to go up to $1 million or higher purchase price in the Bay Area, with zero down. Depending on credit score, if you have a lower credit score, they may require 10% down. But the VA is definitely a great program for our veterans that we honor so much.
That's wonderful. They were always one of my favorites to work with. First-time home buyers and veterans. Those are my two specialties.
Mine too. I just love the look on someone's face when they never thought they would own a home and they're finally getting the keys to their own house, or, a veteran who's sacrificed so much of their time to serve our country, and to be able to get them in there with zero down and zero out of pocket a lot of times, especially in this market now. Like I mentioned, we're beginning to see sellers paying the closing costs. So we're back to that particular sweet spot where people who qualify on the income and everything can actually get into a house with zero out of pocket. You write $1,000 deposit check, you get it back at the close of escrow because of seller concessions, down payment assistance, a number of ways we could do that for you.
That's wonderful. Now, it says here, you like to do a lot of things for real estate agents. Do you have any way that you actually reach out to real estate agents in your area so that we can, make sure that we drop your information so that they can get in touch with you?
Well, I'm always available to stop by and chat about rates and programs. I go to a lot of networking events. So in our area, we have quite an active networking social circle. And so, there's cocktail hours all over the place and different activities that we can meet up for. So I would definitely love to send an invite to any local agents to come to the networking events. And yeah, I love just popping around in the community. If anybody wants to go door knocking, I love to go bring our firefighters treats to thank them for their service and bravery. So I just love getting out of the house and going and meeting new friends and hanging out with new agents and meeting the neighborhood. So
that's wonderful. I love when we can, actually go out together. Do you and, go out and maybe, I don't know if are you doing open houses there?
Yes, I do open houses. So what I do in that case is prepare some payment scenarios. I do a flyer for the agent and include all the information about the house and their info, and then put some payment information on there. And I usually show up with treats and beverages for the visitors and everything, and just try to have a festive time. I love open houses.
Oh, that's awesome. I know that they've gotten really popular in the last little while to, kind of generate more traffic through sellers' homes. Are you seeing that as well in your area?
Yes, definitely. And with the COVID restrictions lifted, many people are feeling more comfortable about going into someone else's home, and a lot more sellers are feeling comfortable having people come into the home. So, yes, despite the uncertain mortgage rates, people are coming out, having a look. And, a lot of people who were out competed last year are able to get into contract this year. So
absolutely,
definitely seems a lot of changes in the market.
So what's some advice that you would give real estate agents that are actually out there in the market right now?
Well, I would say definitely get with a local lender who can pre-qualify your clients and get you all the latest and greatest programs to get as many people qualified as possible. Don't let your buyers go to Wells Fargo or, the big banks. Oftentimes your local lender is going to have hundreds of programs available like I do. So, shop for a new best friend who is a lender and get them to, one of the things I'll do is help with some marketing sometimes, split the fees for the flyers. I've split fees for leads with agents before, so there's a lot of ways that we can help each other. And I would just definitely recommend going to the networking events and making friends with the lender who can help you get your buyers qualified.
Wonderful. Now, you've been such a motivated and driven woman. I mean, starting at 16 and owning your first house, it says here at 23, was it? Yeah,
That's
23.
correct.
I mean, that's an achievement because, a lot of our young youth don't necessarily think about purchasing their first home that young. So
yeah, that was definitely a side effect of having a mom for a realtor and a mortgage broker.
I bet.
I highly encourage that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine so, having a family in real estate. I mean, I had a family in the construction field, so it was just natural to slowly slide into real estate. But I can only imagine having a realtor as a mom, because I'm the realtor that is in my household telling them, buy a house. You need to buy a house. Don't rent. Buy a house.
Yes. And in fact, my middle son recently moved out to Ohio where housing is affordable. So he is a young guy. He's been self-employed and now he has a W-2 job. And I didn't quite think he would qualify for a house just yet, but we actually found a loan program that'll work with his self-employed Schedule C and his new W-2 income. And he's going to become a homeowner for less than he's going to pay in rent in Ohio. So in some markets, that is possible. And I would just really encourage everybody out there to reach out and see, have a lender run the numbers for you and see what your situation is. Because in Ohio, you can own a house for less than you can rent it. And in Sacramento, it's a little bit harder. When I bought my first house, my rate was 7 3/4. So we're not quite there yet, but my purchase price was $100,000. So the same house today is worth about $600,000 or $700,000, depending on the day. So, those, a lot of people are talking about how the rates were back in the 80s, and we're still lucky because it's not 16%, but, depending on your market, I mean, I'm sure prices have increased exponentially everywhere, but I still hear some sweet deals going on back east in the Midwest. Different parts of the country, are a lot more affordable than California. So,
yeah, well, and California has always been known to have the higher price points. That's just kind of always gone when you hear the word California.
Definitely. Yeah. And what's surprising is that the property taxes in California are actually a lot lower than the taxes in Ohio. So, there is
That's pretty wild.
There's some give and take. Yeah. But with the purchase price being so much lower, you hardly notice the tax being a little bit higher. But it's definitely still possible in a lot of places to rent to own for less than you can rent.
Oh, absolutely.
And zero down. If you're renting, you're moving, you're paying first, last deposit. If you get a down payment assistance program here in California, we have a new one over the past few months that's come out that can give you 10% of the purchase price, completely forgivable if you stay in the home for 5 years. So on a $500,000 purchase, that would be a $50,000 gift towards your down payment and closing costs. And all you have to do is live there for 5 years, and it's actually forgiven 20% a year. So if you move after 3 years, they forgive 60%. So it's a great way. Lenders are coming up with a lot of incentives and implementing new programs to help those first-time buyers who don't have a down payment saved up be able to go ahead and purchase a home. So There's are exciting opportunities out there still.
Now, are you seeing a lot of like here we're seeing a lot of buy downs where buyers are, sellers are offering to help buy down the buyer's interest rate. Are you seeing that as well where you're at?
Yes, definitely. Among the seller credits, towards closing costs, that would be included as a closing cost to buy down the rate. So your first year, your rate would be 2% less. The second year would be 1% less. And the third year would go to the regular 30-year fixed rate. So yeah, sellers are very motivated to help buyers get into their home. If they're, the pendings, it's taking longer. Last year we were seeing houses go pending within 3 or 4 or 7 days on the market. Now we're seeing, 30, 40, 50 days on the market. So sellers are definitely looking for ways to help make the home more affordable for buyers. And one of those ways is the buy down. And yeah, they're just really willing to compromise where they have not been willing to do so for the past couple of years. So
Absolutely.
It's nice to see that.
It is. Yeah. Well, and are you seeing, I call it, we're normalizing. I don't say stabilizing. I say we're normalizing because we're coming into a new normal. Just from what I've seen in, since I've been in the business, and I've been in 18 years, and, we're just normalizing. Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, I think so. We just all have to reset our expectations occasionally. So, sellers had a certain set of expectations 2 years ago, and I think it takes a little bit of time for everybody to really feel the climate out there. And as buyers and sellers kind of rejoin their expectations in the middle, I think that that's a good way to describe it, as normalizing, for sure.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate your time today, Stefani. Is there anything that you would like to let my audience know about you, your company?
Well, I do have a handy first-time buyer guide on my website, and it's stefaniboyd.com. You can also get there through firsttimebuyershandbook.com. Will take you to my website. And one thing I love to throw out there is, if you are the smartest one in your friend group, go out and make some new friends, because it's always better to learn from people than to just get set in your ways and think that you know everything. So go out, network, make some new friends, get some new perspectives, and just always keep pursuing education. The more you know.
Absolutely. That's great advice. And I love always, being not the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
That's such great advice. Get in a room where you're not the smartest person there. Because if you are, you need to move to another room.
Definitely. You're not going to learn anything if you're the smartest one around.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tamra. It's been so nice chatting with you today.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll make sure that everyone has your information. I will drop it in the description where all of the podcast goes out to, so that they can get in touch with you, because you're in Sacramento County. Is it Sacramento County?
Yes, Sacramento, California, city and or county. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you again. I appreciate your time, and we'll make sure that everyone knows how to get in touch with Stefani. And whether you're a real estate agent in the area or whether you're a loan officer, make sure that you touch base with Stefani and become her new friend.
I would love it. Let's go have coffee.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tamra. Have a great day.
You do the same. And until next time, have a great day, guys.